$4,200 for the smallest little detail on a $1 bill that you need to keep your eyes peeled for so you don't accidentally spend that dollar bill. Look, there are tons of people out there that have no idea what to look for, and in this video, I'm going to show you a few key things to look out for to make sure that you don't miss one of these rare $1 bills. So I'll go through this one pretty quickly, but this $1 bill sold for $468. Now, what's important to know during the printing process is that the back of the bills are printed first, then the front, and then the third and final print is the overprint, which is that green and black ink on the bill, the seal on the left with the letter F, and the green seal on the right with the serial numbers. So to keep this one brief, what happened here is when you flip the bill over, you can see that the first print was never produced. Now you have to be aware that some people will see this video and try to replicate an error like this by shaving down one side and thinking that they can sell it for a good amount of money. That's not a good idea for multiple reasons. One, you're defacing US federal currency, which is illegal. Two, if you try to sell it, that's fraud because you're being deceptive and manipulative, intentionally doing something like this. And three, you really want to send it off to a third-party company like PMG to certify it because most people who know what they're looking at will simply not buy a bill unless it is certified by a company like PMG, because there are people out there that will try to manipulate bills like that. This is indeed a genuine $1 bill from 1977 and it sold for $468. This one sold for $660. When you're looking at the back of the bill, there is nothing that really shows you why, but when you flip it over, you can see that part of the bill was obstructed. So the first print is the back and it's fine, and then the second print had some sort of obstruction happening, and you can see that the third print was fine because it still got produced fully on the bill. Now again, when it comes to error notes, most of the time I would highly recommend sending them to PMG as long as it's worth getting graded. Something as dramatic as this I would recommend because it sold for $660. $4,200 for this $1 bill. So this $1 bill is from 1988 and it is a star note, but that's not the main reason, but I'll tell you really quickly what a star note is. So during the printing process, if there's an error on a sheet of bills, a quality control manager will put a large red X and they will signify that this sheet needs to be destroyed. From there, the sheet of bills gets destroyed and they produce a new sheet with a star at the end of the serial number signifying that it's a replacement sheet of bills. That's important for bookkeeping purposes and to make sure that no theft is happening at the Bureau of Engraving and Printing where they produce these bills. One of the main reasons why this bill sold for so much money is because it is indeed a web note. Now, to keep a long story short, web notes were produced when the BEP was trying to produce bills at a faster rate. They used what's called a web press, which is the same printing technology they used to produce newspapers. Nothing good came of this process because there were a ton of errors that happened on the bills. So it ended up taking more time and resources than they wanted. Now, how do you know if you have a web note? Well, there are three different ways, but if you have any of these indicators, then you have all three. The first one is Washington's face will look a bit washed out. I'll throw up a diagram right now. So you can see there's a clear difference there. Now, the next thing is going to be the front plate number. Now, that front plate number is on the bottom right-hand side of the bill. For web notes, it's only going to have a small number, but on normal bills, it's going to look like this. You can see the difference. The last and probably easiest area to see is on the back of the bill. On web notes, you'll see to the right of In God We Trust, the back plate position, and on a normal bill, it's going to be in a different location. If you have a web note and it grades very highly like this one, it could be worth a ton of money because this one sold for $4,200. I'll spend a few seconds here, but this is a genuine $1 1917 legal tender note. Now, the size of this bill is much larger than our typical bills that we're used to seeing. Now, this 1917 $1 bill is typically worth $50 to $100 in this condition, but because it has a gutter fold error on it, it sold for $480. Cool piece of history right here. You can see a depiction on the left-hand side of the bill of Christopher Columbus. I love old, large-sized paper money like this. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you click on the video above, and I will see you in the next one.